Hi everyone, Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez. In the 7th District, we have been working closely, as many of you know, with members in the community to help reconfigure and reimagine the Sepulveda Boulevard corridor. And because of timelines that we want to continue to meet, we want to make sure that the community engagement process continues in this effort. So we are availing to you this opportunity to participate in a web-based community outreach process with the Department of Transportation. And I want to thank the Department of Transportation and my team for helping to pull together this opportunity for you all to remain engaged. Well, preceding this, we had 5 in-person outreach meetings. We didn't want to slow that momentum, and we still do want your added guidance, participation, and feedback. So please take a moment to reflect on what's being presented in this web-based portal, and please provide your comments so that we can incorporate it into this shared vision for the Sepulveda corridor. I want to thank you for honoring the Safer at Home orders. And I want to thank you for being a partner with us to make sure that we get through this together and that you stay well and you stay safe. Together we will get through this much quicker. Stay well, everyone.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Mission Mile, Sepulveda Visioning for a Safe and Active Community project update. Before we get started, we want to ask that after you view this slideshow and review the design proposal, that you please send us your feedback. You can do so via a short survey found at ladot.lacity.org/Sepulveda. Email us at sepulveda.mission.mile@gmail.com, or leave a voicemail at 213-632-9564. Additionally, the slides you see here will be available in English and Spanish at ladot.livablestreets.org/Sepulveda. In this video, we will review the project area and project goals, provide an overview of the project timeline, share the community engagement process to date and what we've learned through that process, and finally, show you the design concept that we've developed that reflects the project goals and community input. First up, the project area. The Mission Mile project covers a 3.25-mile section of Sepulveda Boulevard between Rayen Street and Rinaldi Street, and a half-mile section of Brand Boulevard from Sepulveda to Brand Park. This project area was selected because of the need for safety improvements and the potential to better link community members to important destinations. This stretch of Sepulveda contains a significant number of important community assets, including elementary and middle schools, parks and cultural assets, public buildings, and supermarkets and retail shopping. If you live, work, or play in the area, you know that Sepulveda Boulevard between Rayen and Devonshire is made up of 3 wide travel lanes and 1 parking lane in each direction, as well as a wide center median. As we move north, between Devonshire and Brand, the median mostly disappears, turning into a painted median. Taking these sections together, between Rayen and Brand, the roadway is up to 129 feet wide. That's the same width as the nearby 118 freeway. Between Brand and Rinaldi, the road narrows to 86 feet, but maintains 3 travel lanes in each direction. The wide 6-lane road invites speeding and reckless driving. Also, long distances between safe pedestrian crossings and expansive, challenging intersections create unsafe conditions for all road users. For these reasons, this stretch of Sepulveda is one of the most dangerous roadways in the city. Since 2009, 7 people have died in traffic crashes, and over 30 have been severely injured. For some additional context, Sepulveda is currently served by multiple metro bus lines. It's also important to note that the Mission Mile project links to the future North San Fernando Valley Transit Corridor, and is near to the future East San Fernando Valley Light Rail, which are major upcoming public transportation investments in the San Fernando Valley. These projects will connect into the existing Metro G and B lines over the next 7 years, giving residents more options for how to get around our city. Next are project goals. There are 4 primary goals for the Mission Mile project. First, to improve traffic safety, reduce crash severity, and save lives on Sepulveda Boulevard. Second, to provide new green space for physical activity, as well as public monuments and art. Third, to improve active transportation connections to transit, community centers, parks, and other destinations. And fourth, to improve the local environment with stormwater capture and greening elements that create more shade. The following few slides summarize the path this project has taken, starting in 2017 when the street was identified as a high-injury priority corridor in need of safety improvements. In 2018, Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez allocated funds to allow us to think bigger. How can we really invest in Sepulveda so that it best serves the local community? In the fall of 2019, city agencies began a technical feasibility study, and we started the community engagement process. We attended the local neighborhood councils, canvassed local businesses, hosted 4 community workshops featuring bilingual facilitation, and surveyed nearly 100 transit riders up and down the corridor. And that brings us to today. We are asking for your feedback on the proposed Mission Mile design. You will have until Friday, June 26th to submit feedback. We will evaluate your comments, make design improvements, and apply for an active transportation program grant from the state to fund the project. The city will hear back about whether the project was funded in spring 2021, at which point a new round of community engagement will begin to refine the design. The project would finish installation sometime around 2026. Now, I'll share some of what we learned through our community engagement. The discussions we had with community members fell into 2 buckets: safety and other street improvements. When people spoke about their safety concerns, pedestrian safety and speeding were the top issues. We evaluated how people talked about safety depending on how they were getting around: on foot, by bike, or by car. For pedestrians, community members felt there is a need for more safe crossings. For people on bikes, there was a strong feeling that there wasn't enough bicycle infrastructure. And for people in cars, dangerous left turns and speeding were the biggest concerns. We surveyed transit riders while they waited for the bus. Of those surveyed, the biggest concern were about drivers speeding and not yielding to pedestrians in crosswalks. The top interests for overall street improvements were for enhancements that would allow people to travel comfortably on Sepulveda by foot, by bike, by transit, and other means. People also frequently talked about wanting to beautify the street and median. During our workshops, we asked community members what kinds of uses they would most like to see in a redesigned median. The most popular were trees and green landscaping, a 2-way bicycle path separated from traffic, stormwater capture features, better lighting, and a walking path. Now we'll share with you the proposed Mission Mile design. The design focuses on addressing the concerns of community members, calming vehicle speeds, improving pedestrian safety with new safe places to cross, reducing left turn conflicts with vehicles and pedestrians, providing safe bicycle infrastructure, and adding trees and additional greening. We'll review the design proposal by first looking at the project by street segment. Then we'll see the traffic signal intersection improvements. Finally, we'll see the location of new safe pedestrian crossings. First up, Sepulveda from Rayen to the 118 Freeway. This section represents the majority of the project area. On this slide, you can see the current street on the left, with the proposal on the right. The proposed design centers on the reconfiguration of the street. With one fewer lane in each direction, the center median would be widened to include a 2-way biking path, walking path, and additional greening. Here's a closer look at the design, which would be consistent from Rayen to the 118. A 2 to 5 foot landscape buffer on both sides of the median would separate users of the new walking path and 2-way bicycle path from traffic. A new concrete pad at the intersection would provide people crossing Sepulveda with a safe and accessible place to wait between crossing directions of traffic. Here's a look at what it would feel like to be on the new median promenade. This view looks north from a mid-block location. You can see the two-way bike path on your left and the meandering walking path on your right. Also shown here is pedestrian lighting, new landscaping, and some opportunities for public art and seating. And here's what it would feel like to be on the road adjacent to the median. You can see here the landscape buffer and the trees lining the median. The red car is parked on one of the parking stalls that would be carved out of the median in certain places to ensure access for people with disabilities. Also shown here is a new pedestrian crossing and a representation of how pedestrian crossings would traverse the median. Next, we'll take a look at the Mission Mile project between the 118 Freeway and Brand Boulevard. Here, we're proposing to continue the median up to Brand and to redesign the Sepulveda and Brand intersection. Currently, there is no crosswalk on Sepulveda between Chatsworth and Brand, and the existing slip lane encourages drivers to take the turn at high speeds. This creates an unsafe walking environment. The proposed redesign continues the median to Brand with a two-way bike lane. The design also closes the slip lane, creating a wide sidewalk and connecting the Brand Triangle to Pico Adobe House. And a new traffic signal at Bermuda Street will enable people to cross Sepulveda safely. This is what it would look like if we were on the east side of Sepulveda looking north towards Brand. You would enjoy a wide sidewalk with additional pedestrian lighting and trees. And you would be able to cross over to the KFC or other destinations via a signalized crossing at Bermuda Street. You can see how different this experience is today in the photo on the left. Here's a closer look at that same rendering. The wider sidewalks will make the space more connected and accessible for all people, especially those with mobility challenges. Here's another look at the Brand Triangle area. This time, we're looking from Brand toward the slip lane and Sepulveda. Pico Adobe Park is on our left. When we close the slip lane, we are able to create accessible public green space out of the Brand Triangle and create a more pedestrian-friendly environment. This promenade also serves as a proper connection to the Pico Adobe House. The new pedestrian promenade would feature trees, seating, paths for people walking and jogging, and a separated bike path along the existing triangle. This bike path would connect seamlessly to the existing bike lane on Brand. Finally, here's a look at the Mission Mile project between Brand Boulevard and Rinaldi Street. Remember, at this portion of Sepulveda, the road narrows by about 40 feet. There is no median, but there is still 3 lanes of traffic in each direction with street parking. The proposed design would add a protected bike lane, maintain street parking on the inside of the bike lane, and reduce the number of travel lanes. Here's a look at what the project would look like in this section. You can see the planted barrier space between the bike lane and the parked cars. 2 travel lanes are maintained in each direction. For a closer look, it'll also add trees to the sidewalk and planting in the protected bike lane barriers. Now, looking back at the full project area, we heard from many community members that the intersections on Sepulveda needed safety improvements. 6 major intersections along Mission Mile will be updated with new signals or left turn signal upgrades to make vehicle turns safer. We also heard a clear need for more safe pedestrian crossings. Mission Mile will include 7 new signalized pedestrian crossings, featuring 5 pedestrian-activated beacons and 2 new traffic signals. This includes a new safe pedestrian crossing on Brand Boulevard to help people walking access Brand Park and the Mission. Here's what a safe pedestrian crossing looks like. This is a proposed mid-block crossing between Nordhoff Street and Tupper Street. It includes a new hawk signal, high visibility crosswalk, curb extensions with ADA accessible ramps, and protected crossing through the median. Well, this concludes our presentation on the Mission Mile project. This project needs your feedback. Please share your thoughts on the proposed design, as well as any new ideas for how to make Sepulveda a safe, thriving community street. These slides are available for viewing at our website, ladotlivable streets.org/Sepulveda. Please take a minute to complete our brief survey available on the listed project website. Or feel free to send us an email or leave us a voicemail. Your input is critical to the success of this project. Please also share this presentation with your friends, family, and neighbors. The more voices that inform this project, the better it will be. Thank you for taking time to join us.